Well, many of you know and have had a chance to meet and talk with General Kurt Fuller. He's the acting executive director of the missions base at the present. I'm so grateful for his leadership, and he's going to be sharing some thoughts with us to open up the service tonight. Go ahead, Kurt.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all. So last Sunday, I mentioned that there's some things that need urgent attention, and I'd like to use this opportunity to share a little more about that. I do believe that the purpose of this ministry was and is inspired by God, and that in order to enter into all that He has for us, we've got to evolve and we've got to be willing to make some changes. One of the key opportunities that I've seen here is that this base has a lack of solid leadership training and really no formal leader development programs. We need to fix this starting now. And it's going to take time and resources and organizational energy, but it's critical for our corporate health. And we should never put anyone in a leadership position at any level who doesn't have the character and competence that are required to lead effectively. Now, there are some very important values that are necessary for positive leadership. Those include loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. But leadership also requires some very specific character traits, like those values that I just mentioned, as well as empathy, the servant ethos, the servant ethos and discipline, as well as humility. Without values and character in leaders, any organization is going to suffer from internal issues that are completely avoidable. Criteria for selection into leadership positions is crucial, and to thrust anyone into a role like that without proper training and preparation is a recipe for failure. So it's very clear to me from the many examples of hurtful experiences that have been shared with me, they're a direct result of this dynamic. I don't believe that anybody intended to hurt anyone or intended to wound others, but many staff members were simply not trained in proper leadership principles. I want to highlight that I've also seen many instances of incredible leadership here, both past and present. And I'm not highlighting this critique, directing it toward any single person or any leader. It's also important to highlight that there's a big difference between those who lead activities and those who actually lead teams and organizations. Being a facilitator or a moderator is not at all the same as someone who has been granted leadership responsibility and authority in an organization. These are two very different types of leadership, but they have been used interchangeably in a lot of the discussions that I've had. The term leader is sometimes used as a catch-all phrase that includes anyone and everyone who has anything to do with the organization. And that is not good, and it creates confusion. So I'm convinced that using the proper terminology, that establishing clear leader selection criteria, and building leader training and leader development programs are all vital to improving the health of this ministry. This training will include updated and more frequent instruction on what constitutes misconduct and how to properly report these incidents. And by the way, it's not on the internet, on social media. Those Well, there will also be some base-wide and in-depth training on the latest best practices for responding to reports like this. And I'm happy to stay personally engaged in this effort as needed, and that includes volunteering my time to review curriculum and even teach classes. Now, some here may disagree with the feedback that I've provided here, and that's okay. I'm telling you what I think, but you should keep in mind that my position here is temporary, and the trustees of our board will soon select a new permanent director. I'm saying these things in this forum tonight because it's going to take your active participation and support to make this a reality. I humbly ask you to direct some personal attention and initiative towards this goal. And I ask that you also support your leadership as we work together to make these important changes. Again, adjustments of this nature take time, and I ask you to be patient. We also do want you to understand that we're not blind to the pain that some folks have experienced because of these issues, and we've heard the message loud and clear. We appreciate your candor. One other thing I need to say is that great leaders have often had to make unpopular decisions and sometimes even go against the grain of popular opinion. I ask you to forgive me if I haven't responded to a request to meet with me, but even working 14 to 16 hours a day, I'm having some real trouble keeping up. And in fact, I need to step away right now and go back to work. So thank you for your time this evening.